You have 12 months to embrace AI, or your business or career is at risk of dying. Here's why. When you look at the history of technology and how fast it is adopted, normally it takes a half a century for the world's population to adopt a new technology like radio or television or electricity or personal computer. The fastest technology up until recently to ever be adopted was the internet web browser. It took 23 years for 90% of the world's population to use the internet. Guess how long it's taking 90% of the world's population to use AI? Just 3 years. That's never happened in the history of humanity ever, nowhere remotely close. So clearly something is different, for sure. And clearly we're going to have more AI tomorrow than we did last year, right? There will only be more going forward. So we're in this really incredible, pivotal moment in history where the world's going to be really, really freaking different going forward. I don't know exactly where it's going to be different, but I do know it's not going to be the same as yesterday. That I know for sure. And if you look at history, what kinds of individuals, what kinds of professionals, what kinds of businesses did well when the world changed very dramatically? When the personal computer was invented, when the internet became widely used, when COVID came around, whenever there was a major stock market crash, when the world changes, it's not the biggest or the strongest that survive. It's those that adapt quickly. And it does not matter whether you're 20 years old or 60 years old, if you're a SaaS startup like the companies I work with, or you are a store on the corner that's been there for a long time. Every business, when times change, those that thrive are those that can change with it. Think about it. If the world changes by 70% in 1 year, and you change 1% in 1 year, what's going to happen? You're going to be left behind. So the more the world changes, the more you have to change with it. Now, if the world doesn't change at all, and you don't change, that's perfectly fine. And probably in most years of my lifetime, that was probably a pretty reasonable thing to do. This year is not one of those years, let me tell you. All right, so I want to tell you, how do you embrace AI? How do you bet your career, bet your business on taking advantage of AI? And where do you stinking start in all this chaos and confusion and excitement and fear, like all the above, right? It's like the best and the worst time in history, all wrapped in one. I don't know if I should be excited or terrified, and often my both at the same time in the same day, right? So let's talk about some practical aspects of how you can embrace AI in a very accessible, reasonable, and fairly easy and straightforward way. Let's dive into that. Here are 4 things you need to understand about how to embrace AI in this new world. First, the single most important thing, whether you're the CEO of a SaaS startup or just starting out your career or in the later years, the single most important thing to thrive in a world that's changing is to have a flexible mindset. The single most important new job skill and new business skill you need to have is the mentality and mindset and paradigm of thinking about AI first in everything that you do. I see this in my young kids. They're using AI for everything. They are AI natives. I didn't grow up with AI, right? I've had to learn it as an adult. And I see when I look at businesses that are doing well, that are the most likely to succeed, and the individuals in those businesses that are the most likely to succeed, they're the ones that can embrace the concept and the paradigm of making AI first and consider AI first in every decision that they make in their careers as well as in their businesses. So that's number 1. Think about AI first. It is a head trip, right? To really comprehend what AI can do. It is so different. There's so many wow and oh my goodness type moments, but that is what it takes as the very first step. Think about AI first in everything that you do. Can AI do this now? If it can't do it now, when could AI do this? Or under what circumstances could AI be effective here? Can I lay the foundation now so that AI can be used in this particular task a year or 2 or 3 from now? That's the kind of conversation you want to be having in your own mind and with your management teams within your company. The second thing is to realize how does AI really work, right? It's not magic, but it sure seems like it sometimes, right? But it's very important to recognize and really grasp how AI works and what is it good at and what it is not good at. And you want to put your energies as a career professional around doing things AI is not good at. And if you're running a company, you want to know what things should I put AI towards and what things should I put my people towards. And that is in the middle of changing quite significantly over the next couple of years. So here is how AI works. AI, in its essence, is a pattern recognition engine. It is looking at probabilities of outcomes, and based on training data, it is guessing what happens next. So when you have ChatGPT writing a story or summarizing a particular document or a video, it's all just using probabilities to figure out what comes next, what word, what concept, what paragraph comes next, given what paragraphs and words have come previously. Right? Let's talk about how work gets done when human beings are involved and only human beings. This is important because it sets the foundation for understanding how AI works in that kind of environment. When AI is not in the picture, here's what happened. Some person in a company decides what an employee or department needs to do, like customer service, let's say, right? There is a decision process. Then there is a training process to teach employees what they should be doing with customers, okay? So decide first, then train, then do, right? So you decide what you want employees to do, you train them to do it, they stinking do it, and then step 4, you verify to see that they did it correctly, okay? This is true in sales, engineering, marketing. It's all the same thing. Decide, train, do, verify. Those 4 steps. Now, that's what happens when only human beings are involved. What happens when AI is available and in the mix? Can it do the entire thing? Can it replace all human workers inside of a company? Not right now. Maybe in 10 years, certainly not in the next year or 2. Right? And let's look at why. What is AI good at? AI is good at doing things that are very, very repetitive that fit a pattern. They're very good at things that recur over and over in a way that's very consistent, where they don't deviate a whole lot, right? They're terrible at handling exceptions and unusual circumstances. So you'll see this a lot in self-driving cars, for example, right? You see them in San Francisco and Austin, and like 99% of the time, they're shockingly good. It looks like magic. It's scary walking a crosswalk in front of a car or driving down the street where the car next to me has no driver. It freaks me out. It's like magic. Now, 99% of the time, that technology works really well. Do you know when it doesn't work really well? Is when there's a police car or a fire engine or an ambulance behind it, right? Because that instance doesn't happen all that often. And our human brains are able to grasp, oh, there is some kind of emergency. And oh, the fire engine's coming at me against traffic illegally, right? Okay, I know I should just stop and pull over and get out of the way, right? Now, AI has a very hard time with that because it doesn't have enough recordings and number of instances of where fire engines can come from. They can do very odd things, right? And it doesn't know what to do. And so it tends to sort of get stuck in those very unusual set of circumstances. So as of today, and probably realistically for the next 2 up to maybe 5, 6 years, AI cannot operate without some kind of human intervention. And here's where I think humans are very good at and where things AI is good at. And I think the model of the next 5 years certainly is AI and people working together hand in hand, right? So deciding what the customer experience needs to be, right? The decision-making process is still a human one. It's still knowing the psychology. AI can certainly help, but you got to know what people want and how to interact and what kind of experience you want to create for your customer. So that decision process is a human final decision maker with probably some AI help in terms of going through research and data analysis. Next, training. And AI, as of today, cannot train itself, and it needs new data. The algorithms are very good if you have good data, right? I've done a fair amount of testing with this with using the public ChatGPT versus the private one where I train it with my own in-house proprietary data. And let me tell you, it is a night and day difference. When I give it data that's very specific to the situation, company, and problem I'm trying to solve, and I give it a lot of really good data, ChatGPT is phenomenally good at answering questions, doing analysis, making comparisons. When I ask ChatGPT the same questions and do the same analysis, and I don't give it any proprietary data, I use the general public ChatGPT, it's like interesting half the time, and half the time it kind of gets it wrong. If I'm trying to solve something very, very specific that's not sort of general knowledge, right? So training still requires human intervention to go obtain and curate good training data, okay? AI is not good at that. What AI is really good at, when those first two things have been done, when a human being has decided what kinds of decisions and what kind of experience to give a customer, when a human being has collated and gathered and curated the right training data that really represents the experience we want to give to customers, AI can be very good at replicating those particular situations, especially the frequently occurring ones that occur over and over again that are pretty standard. AI is fabulous for that use case. And the fourth step is verifying whether the AI and the work got done correctly. Whether it's a human being doing the work or an AI doing the work, you still need a human being to go verify, hey, is this what we wanted customers to experience? Yes or no. AI is not good at that because, again, it's not good at the exceptions, the unusual things, the things that are true today that didn't exist yesterday, things in the news, current events, right? Those kinds of things that change the way the world works and is not yet reflected in the training data. Okay? So in that continuum flow of work, those four things: decide, train, do, and verify for quality. AI is fabulous at the third step, provided human beings are doing the first two and the last step. They're making the decisions on what customers should get. They are training the AI with good data, and they're verifying the quality of the results that AI has produced. So best practice for the next several years is human beings and AI working together collectively as a team of sorts, where human being and people do the things they're very, very good at, and the AI does the thing that it is very good at. That combination in today's world is very viable, completely usable, and can be very effective right now. No new technology breakthroughs, no other changes right now. AI assisted or AI with human intervention to help with quality control works fabulously well today. And I think it's going to be true for quite a number of years. So these are the key ways that you can embrace AI right now. And these are things that you need to do in the next 12 months. AI is moving incredibly fast. I do not know if I should be excited or terrified, and I kind of alternate between the two. And when I tell my clients, these CEOs of these startup companies that I work with, what my thoughts are on AI, I always say, and my perspective might change in 2 weeks, right? So with that, I feel strongly that you need to embrace AI in one of these different kinds of ways, and my opinion may change in as little as 2 weeks. On that note, have a great day, and please embrace AI, learn how to work with it so you have a place in the world going forward.